Okay, I wanted to talk about a book review. A couple of them. It's kind of a verses on the book review. So it's meaning it's one book versus another book. Two books that I'm reading. So I downloaded Bob Dylan's Trantula and I started reading it. I read some of the press. And then I been reading Marcus Aurelius Meditations. So Marcus Aurelius Meditations makes sense to me because he's talking about stoicism. So something happens to you and you just keep on going straight ahead and you become stoic, and it kind of affects you. You start to become still and focused one way, and then you pick up Bob Dylan's Trantula and it's like, what in the it's brilliant. So both are brilliant books, but they have two different perspectives. What I like about Marcus Aurelius and the Roman leader that was very peaceful and focused on meditation is that he was about allowing whatever happens to you happen. Throw away your body. It's nothing but vines and tendons, and it just doesn't do you any good. Just don't worry about your body. It's not a very Christian concept because the body is a temple, but it's about the perspective that I think he's talking about. You can obsess over your body and then you start to become kind of sad because the body is kind of like a candle wick that's slowly coming to an end. We're not going to be able to hang on to our bodies forever. I think John Lennon said that too. But Marcus Aurelius definitely said it. But he also said that in the meditation, it's about meditating on stoicism. So it's about knowing that you're stoic and that you're a ruler. Kind of like every man's a king kind of thing. But he said that without philosophers, that our country will be nothing. So we must have philosophers for our country to be something. So now we take that book and we compare it and contrast it to the first part of Bob Dylan's Trantula. And I don't know what Bob Dylan was talking about. His songs are beautiful. Bob Dylan took from Woody Guthrie's style and wrote folk songs and even won a Pulitzer in literature for his storytelling. But Trantula, I think, is approaching kind of a Ginsberg state of mind. And I think and with Trantula, Bob Dylan is becoming rebellious, just like Ginsberg. And he's saying, I don't know, I think he wrote this in a house. I think he had a motorcycle accident during some of it or before or after. And I think that he was just riffing and saying whatever came to mind at that moment. I don't know what drugs were involved when Bob Dylan wrote that, but I have kind of an idea. But I could see the guy who was 23 smoking a cigarette and just being completely free in everything that he was saying. He was comparing words and contrasting words and maybe riffing on styles of poetry and just putting all these different ideas. I haven't come across a plot yet. I'm not saying it's a bad book. I'm not saying either book is a bad book. I'm saying both books are good books. They're both good books. But I can tell you this, Marcus Aurelius didn't make me laugh. Marcus Aurelius, his book, and I'm continuing to read it all the time, what it does is it makes me stoic and it makes me one way, focusing on this stoicism. Bob Dylan has me like a tarantula going around just saying, man, it's all rebellion. And it's almost like a punk rock state of thinking, rebellious, beyond folk, really. To me, it's not folk. And I'm getting into it, but it's completely crazy. And it was probably something Ginsberg was attempting. Allen Ginsberg, I think he was attempting something like this. Very beatnik. But I think it is kind of a book. Anyway, I'm posting this as a review on both books. I think they're both good. Read them. Be prepared to be changed when you read Marcus Aurelius, and be prepared to rebel when you read Trantula by Bob Dylan. Those are the two preparations on that. You'll rebel with Bob Dylan, and you'll find a sense of through line with Marcus Aurelius, you'll find a sense of focus, a sense of meditation, and a sense of stoicism. Both are good books. And they're not bad to read at the same time. But also, Bob Dylan is very funny. Marcus Aurelius is very serious. Anyway.